formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. I'm waking up out of nightmares, gasp for breath. Living in these last days, enemies after my
We're glad
death.
you have tuned in. We are in our series. This is part 3 of We Can't Render That to Caesar. We can't render that to Caesar. Let's start out in Mark, the 12th chapter. Mark, the 12th chapter. We had left off last week talking about these two people that came against Yahshua.
Okay.
The Herods and the Edomites. So we're just going to review the scripture where they came asking Yahshua a question, and then we're going to pick them back up. Mark the 12th chapter, we see the Pharisees and the Herodians ask Yahshua a question. Mark 12, and let's start at verse 13, please.
Then said he to the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched it forth. And it was...
Mark the 12th chapter, and let's start at verse 13, please. Take your time. Mark 12 and verse 13.
And they sent unto him certain of the Pharisees and of the elders to catch him in his words.
Verse 14.
And when they were done,
When they were come.
when they were come, they say unto him, Teacher, we know that thou art true, and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of Elohim. In truth, is it lawful to give the tribute to Caesar or not?
Okay, so the Pharisees and Herodians asked Yahshua a question. Is it lawful to give tribute? And again, the Ruach said tribute is the coin that they use to pay their taxes with.
Right.
So they were coming to him, it said in verse 13, to catch him in his words, to ask him a trick question. They said, is it lawful to pay taxes or to give tribute, like whatever Caesar asks of you, is that lawful to do or not? So we had looked at who the Pharisees were. They were the bourgeoisie Hebrews, right, our people, that thought they were better than the other people.
Like today.
Because they had positions or because they wore certain things or lived in certain places. All right. Now we were looking at who the Herodians were. Who were the Herodians? The Herodians were also known as the Herods, and Yahweh showed us that they're Esau's descendants.
Okay.
And we looked at those two sons of Yitzchak or Isaac and Rivkah or Rebekah, two black Shemites, and their sons were Esau or Iyshshah and Jacob or Yaakov, who became Yisrael. All right? These people, the Herodians or the Herods, were renamed from Edomites or Esau. And they were renamed Idumeans, I-D-U-M-E-A-N-S, by the Greeks and Romans for the country where they lived when they came and they were conquering Jerusalem. And they renamed these people from Esau and Edomites to the Idumeans. All right, let's go to Genesis, the 27th chapter. So what Yahweh showed us was that this man, Esau or Iyshshah, he sold his birthright to his brother Yaakov. But now what happened, since he sold his birthright, Esau made a statement and he was upset. Because after he sold his birthright, he made the bargain, then he expected for some reason, because he's unrighteous, Yahweh said he was unrighteous, he called him a fornicator and a whoremonger, he expected to still get the blessing. But Yahweh orchestrated it where his brother did get the blessing. But let's look at Genesis 27 and verse 36. But what we're going to see and what has come down through the ages is the lie
Y'all
that
right, tell like it
Yaakov
is.
or Jacob stole his birthright
No.
from his brother, which he didn't. Genesis 27, let's read verse 36, please.
And he said, Is not the rightly named Jacob, for he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
Now, this is Iyshah himself. He's characterizing what the transaction was between him and his brother. His brother said, look, Esau said, I want some of the porridge that you're cooking. He said, okay, sell me your birthright. And then Esau said, hey, what the birthright going to do me? He said, okay, then Yaakov or Jacob said, swear to me. So twice, he said, I swear, just give you the porridge. So he sold, and at the end of the exchange, the Bible says, he sold his birthright.
Y'all right, so damn you know.
All right? So it says now, here's Esau describing what happened between him and his brother. He said, is he not rightly named Yaakov? Now he's going to say what Yaakov means, which is a lie.
Okay.
When you go back to the original languages, then you understand, no, that's a lie. That's not what Yaakov means. All right? Is he not rightly named Yaakov, for he has supplanted me these 2 times? Well, the first time he sold his birthright, and he swear, okay, it's yours. Then the second time, Yahweh had already said that the elder was going to serve the younger.
Right.
Him and his mother, Yaakov and his mother, went in there and orchestrated this thing. Yahweh didn't do that, but Yahweh allowed it to happen, and he got the birthright that way. If they had just waited, then he would have gotten the birthright in the way that Yahweh had set up for him to get it. All right? But here he's telling a lie. He supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright.
Right.
That's a lie. He sold it to him. And behold, now he have taken away my blessing. He gave it away. He wasn't entitled to it after he made the transaction. All right? And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? So now the English word Jacob, and that's why we always go to the original languages, because you have Roman Christianity and people that don't understand the transaction that happened. You have them saying that Esau stole his brother's birthright, which he didn't. That's a lie, because they're following what Esau said. The English word Jacob is the Hebrew word Yaakov. That's Y-A-A or Y-A-H-Q-O-B, found at Strong's number 3290. It means heel catcher. That's all it means. And when you read the exchange, when you read about when the twins were born, it says that Esau came out first, and his twin brother was holding on to his heel. It means heel catcher. Just like Esau's name means red and hairy, because that's what he looked like, red and hairy. All right, but you see here, Esau and his people have given Jacob or Yaakov, our people, name another meaning. And they have said that he stole the birthright when he didn't. Now, it's interesting to note that when you go to use Strong's Concordance, and I'm not sure about Vine's and all these other dictionaries, but Iyshah or Esau's people wrote Strong's Concordance.
Praise, already tell like it is, bro.
So whenever we go to research anything, we always have to be listening to Yahweh to tell us what things mean. Because there are things, just because you see them in writing, and just because you go to the concordance, you can't just assume that everything they put there was right, because it's not. Why? Because Iyshah's people have control of the media, they got control of the literature, they got control of the wealth, printers, all of that. Okay, so we always have to be listening to Yahweh to help us rightly divide. So now, it's interesting to note when you go look up Yaakov or Jacob in Strong's Concordance at number 3290 in the Hebrew, they put in the definition supplanter. Well, that's the lie that Esau just told, right? In Genesis 27th chapter. His name doesn't mean supplanter. And they put layer of snares.
Huh?
Like he tricked them out of his birthright.
Right.
What fool gonna have something that's valuable and say, I'm hungry, I want a cup of
I
soup,
know, right.
and I got a diamond ring, and say, okay, give me your diamond ring for the soup. And you say, hey, what does the diamond ring mean to me? And then you say, okay, swear, give me your diamond ring, and I give it to you. And then later on, I come back trying to get my diamond ring. It should have never been on the table.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why Yahweh called him a profane person,
Right.
because he devalued what Yahweh
That's it.
values.
Y'all right, Rod.
We're
Tell
all
like it is.
profane whenever we devalue what Yahweh values.
I know, right?
Whenever we say, hey, oh, that doesn't mean anything, and he knew the elder birthright blessing meant something. All right? But now, in the definition, he's saying our forefather was a supplanter, he was a layer of snares, and then he uses Iysh for us. He says the Israelite Iysh, patriarch. Talking about Jacob.
Right, we ain't no Iysh.
Who's the Iysh?
They are.
We understand who the Iysh is. But you see how Yahweh had to give us his Ruach HaKodesh.
Yes.
He had to help us to rightly divide this mess, because there's some of us that are still wrapped up in it. Because in one way he used them to protect our heritage,
Yes.
to protect some of the things that we had forgotten about.
Yes.
But then in other ways, they added things to it because they're the Iysh, kind of sort of like, but not the real thing. Right? All right? All right, so let's go to Genesis 27 and verse 41 so we can see, all right? He sold the blessing, but now he's saying, no, no, no. My brother stole the blessing. Well, Yahweh's the one that lets us know that's a lie.
Y'all right.
All right? Genesis 27, let's read verse 41, please.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I say, my brother Jacob.
Now this is what I saw where Esau said. But now, in all fairness to Esau, him and his brother, Jacob or Jacob, made up.
Y'all right, Rod. Tell like
But
it is.
his descendants
Yes.
held that grudge. They're still carrying that grudge.
Yes.
It's called the vendetta. It's called the conspiracy. Whatever you want to call it, their goal is to get rid of you. Their goal is to keep you ignorant of who you are.
Yes.
Their goal is to keep undercover the things that Yahweh is teaching about his word and letting people know to go study the Bible because it's talking about you. It says, Esau hated Jacob. Why? Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Well, he should have thought about the value of it before he put it on the table to be traded.
That's right.
See, we have to think about the blessings that Yahweh has blessed us with.
Yes.
We have to think about the positions that he's put us in before we go acting foolish and before we don't go saying and doing ignorant things. We have to realize who we are in Yahweh. We're representing Yahweh in this age.
Hallelujah.
And there are things that we can say and do to misrepresent Yahweh and mislead people. And we don't want Yahweh's people's blood on our hands. We want to be sure that when we stand up before Yahweh's people, we do it in righteousness. There have been people that had to be sat down because they were so sporadic, in and out, in and out. Yahweh's not like that.
No, he's
We
not.
don't want to confuse people and make people think that Yahweh, sometimes Yahweh show up, sometimes he doesn't.
Right.
Sometimes Yahweh feel like doing this, sometimes Yahweh, no, that's people.
Yes.
See, when we're at a certain stage, we have to always protect people and always be mindful of just grooming them and let them know till they really see how Yahweh is.
Hallelujah.
Then they'll be able to divide between people and Yahweh. But it says Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him that he gave away. And Esau said in his mind, hey, my father's about to die and I'm going to kill my brother Jacob. So we had started looking at this book called the Edomites at the End Time and the Second Coming of Christ at the Sheepfolds of Basra, and it's by Pat Marvinko Smith. We're not going to read the scriptures again, but we went to 1 Samuel, the 22nd chapter, and you can read verses 16 to 19, where she says that you can look at this as one of the scriptures to see how Esau's descendants carried out the vendetta,
Oh, yeah.
carried out
Ugly.
the Sicilian thing to kill
Yup.
as many of us as they could,
Yup.
of what Esau said in Genesis 27:41. And it said, you can read about that, where this soldier, Doeg, he was an Edomite in our forefathers' army, all right, in the Shemite nation's army. And King Saul, the first king, he was upset with David because Yahweh had anointed him. Well, see, that's another thing right there, where King Shaul, if he had done what Yahweh said, if he had been faithful,
That's it.
see, that's the thing. Yahweh always has somebody to step into our place.
Hallelujah.
We get the privilege of being there first. Now, what we do with it is up to us. Because if we don't stand up and do right, guess what? Yahweh's going to anoint somebody
That's
else.
right.
And they're going to do it. So he's upset because Yahweh told him to do something, King Saul. And then he found out that these priests of Yahweh had helped King David. Then he ordered the black Israelite army, he said, kill these priests. And they wouldn't. Why? Because they were righteous.
Hallelujah.
Right? If anybody tells us to kill a servant of Yahweh, we're not going to do it.
Right.
And you can kill people by more than just, you know, with the knife and the gun.
The
You
words.
can kill them with your words too. They refused. Then this man, Doeg the Edomite, he said, hey, I'll do it. And he went and killed all the priests. I believe there was 80 of them, but just read the account in 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter. Then he went and killed the women and the children in the city. He killed every animal.
Right.
And then she says by the time he had finished killing all life, there was not anything living in that city. That city of Nob. And this is a true factual account of what this Edomite did. So she's just saying, we need to understand what their mindset is. And like I said, you have some individuals that are doing as right as they can because the lie of them being you has been told so long.
Yes.
Most of them, or a lot of them, don't even realize that they're not it. There's something that's not jiving in their inner man, but they're just not quite sure what it is. But before they leave this earth, Yahweh will let them know what it is. Then they have a choice. All right?
Praise the mighty Yah.
So we had started looking at the fact that she says in her book, the majority of rulers used by the Romans to rule the world in Israel, the Herods were Esau's descendants, or Idumeans. So what Yahweh is showing us here, the lesson is, you can't render that to Caesar. In other words, we're up under Roman rule. And Roman rule is talking about Caesar. The heads of Rome were called Caesars. All right? And then their religious head were called the papacy or the pope. But we're still up under Caesar. So there are certain things that we can give. We can pay taxes to Caesar, and there's other things we cannot give. So Yahweh wants us to know that the Romans and Esau's descendants are just like this.
Yeah.
And they were like that before our forefathers, the last of our forefathers, got kicked out of the land in 70 AD. And we're going to look at them. When you look at Idumeans, when you look at the Herods, they had governorships in Jerusalem and different places in Palestine. And so they were ruling in the land. They had sided up with the Romans. We see in another place where they sided with the Babylonians under King Nebuchadnezzar when they came to get Judah out of the land. And then they were in captivity for 7 years, so the Edomites were right there. Because their forefathers said, okay, you know what, Isaac said, you missed a spiritual blessing, but Yahweh's going to give you a physical blessing. There's going to come a time when you're going to rebel and break his yoke from off your neck.
Yeah.
But the reason they did it, don't go blaming him.
No.
Don't go blaming Esau's people.
No.
The reason they did it was because of our forefathers' rebellion.
Yeah,
And if they hadn't opened the door.
Yes.
See, but Yahweh revealed through his Ruach to Yitzchak, to Isaac, that this was going to happen.
Right.
And he said, okay, I got another blessing. And Yahweh told him to say, there's going to come a time when you'll be able to break his yoke from off your neck.
Right.
But you can read throughout the Bible that Esau's people kept siding with whoever came against our forefathers. Is this the time? Is this the time?
Right.
I'm going to join their army. I'm going to join them. And then there came a time when it did come to pass. So now they're up top and then we're underneath. But it was our own forefathers' fault.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't want
like
to
it is,
go on
so the
people.
hams can know.
Okay? So now it says, let's go in Matthew's the 2nd chapter. So the majority of rulers used by the Romans to rule Israel were the Herods, and they were Esau's descendants. So he was in heaven then. It's like, yeah, I've gotten up over him. His whole goal is to get up over him.
Right.
His whole goal is to bleed you dry. So you have nothing. So you're always on the bottom.
Right.
But again, individually, people are individual.
Right,
As a nation, Yahweh said he hated Esau.
Right.
We saw that in Malachi, the 1st chapter. He said he loved Jacob, but he hated Esau. We're going to Matthew's 2nd chapter. Now what we're looking at is before our forefathers got kicked out of the land.
Okay.
And just like we looked at that soldier, that Edomite soldier that killed all the priests of Yahweh and all of those people.
Right.
Now we're looking at them. It joined with the Romans, killing more of us.
Right.
Okay? See, because that's why the devil had him change the name, because then you wouldn't realize, hey, this is Esau carrying out his vendetta. He said, I'm going to kill my brother, but Jacob symbolized us. They're still carrying out that vendetta. Romans 2. Now let's start at verse 16. Now remember, when you see Herod, you're talking about Esau's people. You're talking about Edomites.
Right.
Matthew 2 and verse 16.
Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly worried, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, accordingly to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men.
So here is Herod, this is Esau carrying out the vendetta.
Right.
I'm going to kill Jacob. His people said, I'm going to kill Jacob's people.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. This is here, and he joined with the Romans. They're still joined with the Romans. In other words, in politics and different places and high positions. And whenever they can do something to knock one of us off on the corner, they're doing it. It's a conspiracy. It's a plan. We're not going to go there. We go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter.
Right.
And Yahweh tells you all about it. And the ringleader of that is Edom. It said, then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, he was looking for Yahshua. He was exceedingly wroth and sent forth and killed all the children that were in Bethlehem. Talking about not talking about little Caucasian children. They're talking about like you go over to the west side or the south side.
Right.
They went to the black neighborhoods, to the black Shemites.
Right.
And Yahweh gave me a revelation on this a couple of years ago. I was thinking they only killed the male babies, 2 and under. They killed all of them. The little girl, they killed them all. It said he killed all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, even close to Bethlehem, from 2 years old and under. These were when the Romans were in power. They're still in power, according to the time which he had asked of the wise men. All right, verse 17.
Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying,
18.
In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentations and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not.
So this Ramah is using the women of Israel, is using them. You know, Ramah is talking about the mothers that were in Israel of all these babies.
Right.
That had genocide against them, 2 years old and under. But the Romans were in power. This is what they did. This is what Yahweh's going to show us in this lesson. When they had the Colosseum and all that, they were using our people for sport.
Right.
And the Edomites were right there with them.
Right.
Eaten up by the lions.
All right, let's go to Luke, the 3rd chapter. So here's another Edomite. He killed the person they called Yachanan or John the Baptist. Luke the 3rd chapter.
Praise Yahweh. Revelation knowledge.
His name was Herod Antipas. So when you see Herod, you're talking about Esau.
Okay.
Luke 3, and let's start at verse 19, please.
Hallelujah.
But Herod the
Tetrarch.
being reproved by him for Herodias his brother Philip's wife, and for all the evils which Herod had done.
20.
Added yet this above all, that he shut up John in prison.
So you can read the rest, the rest of the account in this chapter. We're not going to read today, but long story short, Herod's, what was she to him? Daughter-in-law,
Yeah.
because he married the mother.
Yeah.
She did some nasty dance for him, and then because he had married his sister-in-law, and then he asked, okay, well, what do you want from me? I'll give you whatever. And then her mother told her, I want John the Baptist's head. You want that black Shemite man's head.
Right.
But we see where they put him in prison, because John and Yachanan stood up and told him, hey, it's unlawful for you to be marrying your
Right. Speaking
sister-in-law.
the truth. I'll be Yahweh.
He said, that's wickedness, that's sin.
Right,
And then he figured, well, who is this black
I
Shemite
know,
going to tell
right?
me what I can't do? All right, but he ended up taking his head. Now Herod the Great, from 37 BC to 4 BC, Yahshua was born in the reign of this Herod. And we just read, it says, whose fury at his birth led to the flight to Egypt. So his parents had taken him to Egypt or Mizraim to hide among the black Egyptians.
Right.
If he was a Caucasian, there's no hiding there. All that
I
do is
know,
say,
right?
it's this white family that came over to Egypt. No. We understand the Egyptians were black.
Right.
So Yahweh told him, hey, Yasser, take your Iysh, take the child and go hide, because Herod going to try to kill you.
Right.
It's part of this vendetta against us. All right? Then you have Herod Antipas, which we just read about. He's the one that killed Yachanan. Let's go to Luke the 13th chapter. So now these people should come alive to you, because in our mind, I know in my mind, before I really understood that they had changed Esau's name, I was thinking I was reading about Romans.
Okay.
And thinking I was reading about Caucasians, but no, I'm reading about Edomites.
Okay. Praise
Luke
Yahweh.
13.
Revelation knowledge.
And now here's Yahshua talking about Herod. Talking about Esau.
Okay.
Luke 13, verse 31. One of his
Hallelujah.
descendants. Luke 13, 31.
The same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out, and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee.
All right, he said, here come the Pharisees. Now they didn't love Yahshua.
I know, right?
They were at odds with Yahshua, because Yahshua was a leader, they were leaders, and then they set themselves up to compete. We're on the same team.
Yes, we are.
We're not in
Yes,
competition.
team.
We're all supposed to be headed to the same place, the
That's
kingdom.
right.
It said, the same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto Yahshua, read up above if you don't know that this is Yahshua, Get thee out and depart from hence, because Herod's going to kill you. And this is what he responded to them, 32. 13:32.
And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that, for behold, I
Wait,
have...
hang on, something. Tell that what?
Okay, wait a minute. He said unto them, Go ye and tell that, fox, behold,
Yes. Mhm.
I cast out devils, and I do cures to the day, and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be protected.
Hallelujah.
Verse 33.
Nevertheless, I must walk today, and tomorrow, and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet perish out of Jerusalem.
Huh?
All right, so Yahshua let him know, hey, I understand when my time is.
Right.
I understand you're not coming to protect me. It says, he said to the Pharisees, go ye and tell that fox. So if he's sending a message by you,
Right.
you go and tell that fox. So a fox is like an unclean,
Right.
sneaky, low-life
Yeah.
type of person that he's calling him. Go tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils and do cures today and tomorrow. The third day I shall be perfected. Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following. For it cannot be that a Nabi or prophet perish out of Yahshua.
Right.
He said, no, he's not killing me here. So
Right.
if he's sending you with a message, let me send a message back to him. All right, let's go to Acts, the 12th chapter. So he wanted to kill Yahshua, but Yahweh didn't let him. Acts, the 12th chapter. But one of
Bring the
Esau's
protection.
descendants killed Yahweh, or James, the brother of Yachanan, and put Peter in prison. Acts 12. This is Esau's vendetta now.
Yeah.
Acts 12, we want to start at verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the assembly.
Now, who they talking about? They talking about us.
Right.
Us that assemble in temples, not in synagogues.
Right.
Us that assemble in temples, Hebrews, the righteous people of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
It said, about that time, Herod, who was Esau, his forefather said, I'm going to kill Yaakov. They made up, but his people said, we're going to kill these people.
Right.
Because in their natural mind, they're thinking, okay, this is the way that we keep power. This is the way we keep the wealth. All the wealth they have is yours. But our forefathers traded it like Esau did,
Right.
thinking that they could disobey Yahweh and keep the blessing. And Yahweh keeps saying, he can bless us and he can take them back.
Yes, you can.
How do people figure, okay, Yahweh bless me and I'm just going to run and he can't? No. Yahweh can take it back just like he gave it.
Run all you want
He
to.
gives it because we're obedient.
Praise.
Everything is going well for us because we're obeying.
Hallelujah.
But he can take them back.
Yes, he can.
And he does because he's a loving father and he knows that it doesn't do good to reward rebellion.
Right.
About that time, Herod, Esau's people, the king, stretched forth his hands to vex certain of our forefathers, the righteous people. Verse 2.
And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword.
Verse 3.
And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. And those were the days of unleavened bread.
Now, if one of us gets killed, one of us righteous people, that shouldn't please any of us.
No, it would.
So you understand, even though it's talking about Hebrews,
Right.
it's talking about Israel, it's talking about natural-minded people who
Y'all
were
right.
pleased
Y'all right, bro.
when one of us got martyred for standing for Yahweh. And the only reason that this man was in jail because it says he stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the people that were faithful to Yahweh. But there's a risk in everything.
Yes, it is.
Whether you come to the temple or don't come to the temple, there's a risk in standing up for Yahweh. But Yahweh's got your back.
Yes, he does.
He's
All
got
the
your
time,
front.
no matter what.
He's got your protection.
Yes, he does.
And that's why
Hallelujah.
me and Ra'ah, we don't, watch the news that much, because if you watch the news, you would never leave your house.
Yes.
Because you hear about this one getting shot this corner and that corner, and
That's true, yeah.
somebody just falling down, dying of a heart attack. You'll be in prison, and there are
Right.
people that are in prison.
Yes, they are.
But Yahweh came to set us free.
Yes, he did.
So let's take this risk and let's go with Yahweh. Let's walk with
Hallelujah.
Yahshua.
Yes.
That's the best risk you can take because
Yes.
your safety is guaranteed. But he said it pleased some of our people
Yeah.
that Yahweh was killed, that Herod killed him. And then he said it pleased him. And then, he said, like Hebrews, they're not rebelling, so let me take Keeper also. Why? Because they were in the temple. They were
Right.
leaders in the temple. And there's one thing about our people, they figure, knock the leader off.
Yeah.
People, they'll just be wandering around, they won't know what to do.
Right. So they think.
All right, let's go to Acts the 24th chapter.
Praise Yahweh.
So now we're looking at some more of Esau's people. This lady Drusilla was Herod the Great's daughter. And she was a brother to Herod Agrippa. And she's married to this person named Felix. Acts 24, let's read verse 22, please.
Hallelujah.
Just what Yahweh is showing us how closely connected to the Romans they are.
Yeah.
Because in the end time, it's going to be the Romans that's going to be persecuting even more of us. All right, 24 and 22.
And when Felix heard these things, having more perfect knowledge of that way, he deferred them and said, when Linus the chief captain shall come down, I will know the utmost of your matter.
23.
And he commanded a centurion to keep Paul and to let him have liberty, and that he should forbid none of his acquaintance to minister on come unto him.
All right, so now we're looking at, here's another black Shemite, a righteous man. They got him in prison. Who's in power? Esau. And he's giving orders about, okay, bring him forth, don't bring him forth. So we need to see the connection because it's still going on just like it was way back then. This is before, no, I believe this is after the Romans took over Jerusalem in 70 AD. He said he commanded a centurion, that's a guard, to keep Paul, Shaul, let him have liberty, that he should forbid none of his acquaintance to minister or come unto him. So he was in jail.
Right.
In a Roman jail. And there's that song, like Shaul and Silas locked in a Roman jail. They didn't have no one who would forego their bail, but they were in there praising Yahweh.
Right.
And Yahweh opened the door and let them out. All right, verse 24.
And after certain days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, which was a Jewish, he sent for Paul and heard him concerning the faith in Messiah.
Now, you might get confused and think that this was one of our people. No. This is Esau's people.
Right.
Talking about a Jewess.
Right.
No, she wasn't. She was an Edomite. She was the Herod's daughter and brother to Herod Agrippa, who was her brother. But so this is what happened in the Bible, where they started, and not only in that, but in other literature, they started transfusing and transposing
Twisting it.
and slowly doing the identity theft.
Right.
But this Jewish is talking about an Edomite. Her name was Drusilla. And it said, Felix, who married her, he sent for Shaul from prison, that's our forefather,
Right.
and heard him concerning the Imina of Mashiach. Who was giving the oracles? Us and our people.
Israel.
All right, we just want to see the connection between them. Let's go to Acts the 25th chapter. Now we're looking at another Edomite, Bernice. She was Herod's daughter. Acts 25 and 1 verse 13.
Hallelujah.
And after certain days, King Agrippa and Agrippa and Bernice came unto Caesarea to salute
Festus.
Festus.
All right, after certain days, King Agrippa and Bernice. So Bernice was Herod the Great's daughter, another Edomite. All right, so we'll skip that. Let's go to Acts the 11th chapter. So now the English word Jewish, in 33 BC, we find Herod Agrippa in Idumea, which we understand that's where Esau lived. Later he was official in Tiberias, the capital of Galilee, founded by his uncle Herod Antipas. We're talking about Esau's people. All right. Then it talks about Herod Agrippa had his friend named Caligula. Well, who was Caligula?
The crazy.
The Roman emperor, right? The crazy Roman emperor, and had all those boats and different things, and was sodomizing young boys.
Yeah.
It said, but the emperor Tiberius dealt with this. Now they call this Herod guy Jewish prince. That's the first time you see Jewish
Okay.
prince. And they're talking about Esau's people. Now all of a sudden you come in with this Iysh. Alright, so the word, English word Jewish, first came into practice when the Edomites joined the Romans ruling the land of Israel. Iysh, or Ish, is a suffix, meaning something added on the end of a word, meaning having the qualities or characteristics of, somewhat like, a nationality or religious or ethnic group, somewhat like the day or the time, close to but not the original.
Praise
And that's why
the
in
mighty
Strong's
God.
definition, they put that Jacob was an Israelite-ish.
I know, right?
But that's a lie. They just reversed it.
Right, right.
You are the
We're
true
listening.
Israel.
Yes, we are.
And it's time for it to come out.
Yes, hallelujah.
Ish also means related to, associated with, or denoting non-original Hebrews, such as the Jewish people
Right.
and Judaism. Then there is a commentary I got on the web. The relationship between the Jewish king, talking about this Herod,
Okay.
and the Roman emperor was excellent. Says, which is remarkable because many considered Caligula a madman, and he could be very cruel indeed. But
Yeah.
again, he saw in Rome,
Right.
just like that. Acts the 11th chapter. Let's start at verse 25.
Hallelujah.
Then departed
Barnabas,
Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul.
26.
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the assembly and taught much people. And the disciples were called Messiah first in Antioch.
All right, so the translation she had, the guy took it out, but they were first called Christians,
Right.
first in Antioch. They didn't call themselves Christians. We don't call ourselves Christians because that was a term, a derogatory term.
Right.
That was an insult. That
Right.
was not a compliment. Now, Roman Christians call themselves that because they don't understand that it was an
Right.
insult.
Right.
It says, when he had found them, verse 26, he brought him unto Antioch. That's talking about Shaul, the one that we just read about who was in prison before. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the temple, all right, with Yahweh's people,
Right.
and taught much people, and the disciples were first called Christians
Right.
at Antioch. Now I've got, I looked up this word Christian, the early usage. It says the Greek word Christianos, supposed to mean follower of Christ, which comes from Christos. But we were never called Christians.
No, we were not. Y'all
Except by
right. Tell
other
like
people
it is.
trying to insult us. Oh, those are those people, they following Yahshua.
Right.
And then this Bible is in English. So the original language, okay, they changed it over from Greek. Oh, that's those old Mashiach people.
Yeah.
But that's the old black people following this other black guy. That's those people that don't know what they're doing. That's those people that are different from us. They don't believe what the Caesars and Constantine are saying is a religion.
Right.
They have their own separate religion. It's supposed to mean anointed one, but it's borrowed from Latin, and it means adhering to and belonging to slave ownership. Means you're a slave. Wow. It says that the Church of St. Peter, it said early usage. The Church of St. Peter, near Antioch, this is a city where we just read, we were first called, our forefathers, the righteous people were called Christians. The first recorded use of this term is in the New Testament. We just read Acts 11:26. It says, Antioch was a city of the Roman Empire, and it was located on the southern coast of Asia Minor, and later became a major metropolis in the Roman Empire. So this was a big city.
Right, right.
And there was just, we had a little pocket over there, and then they said, oh, that's those people over there, those Hebrews over there, they're worshiping something we don't know about. It was built by Seleucus Necator about BC 300, who called it Antiochia in honor of his father, Antiochus. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Antiochus was, he was one of the people that came into Jerusalem and decided he was just going to tear up the temple and he was going to stop the worship of Yahweh. And one of the things he did was to sacrifice, I believe it was a pig on the altar, because he knew that Yahweh said only certain animals. So the devil used him. But now this is the city where our forefathers were first called Christians. So if you call yourself a Christian, the Hebrews that have been studying the Bible and listening to Yahweh understand you don't know who you are.
Right. Tell like it is, Rod, so the hams can know.
So this was a city that was built by this man that did the most to tear up Jerusalem and to put fear in our people's minds so they wouldn't obey Yahweh. All right, Encyclopedia Britannica about this Antiochus. He said, Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, that's the full name, it means God manifest. See, he thought he was a deity.
Elohim, yeah.
He's also called Antiochus Epiphanes, or Antiochus the Mad. So like Caligula, he had, well, anybody that thinks they're Yahweh
I know.
got to screw loose, right?
I know, right?
It said he was the king of the Hellenistic or Greek Syrian kingdom. As a ruler, he was best known for his encouragement of Greek culture and institutions. His attempts to suppress Judaism, now they're switching over to Esau.
Right.
These were our people.
Right.
We don't practice Judaism.
No, we do not.
We practice Yahwehism.
Y'all
We
said.
practice Yahshuaism. We don't practice Judaism. But you see how now Esau's people are intermingling the history to try to make it seem like it was them.
Yeah.
We already saw who they were. They were the Herods, right? It says, his attempts to suppress Judaism brought on the wars of the Maccabees. Well, the Maccabees were black Hebrews.
I know, right?
The Maccabees were our people. They weren't practicing Judaism. So you see how the Ruach, Yahweh's Ruach helps us to
That's right.
identify,
You
so
must
we
have.
understand. So what they did, what this Antiochus did was try to suppress people from observing Yahweh.
That's it.
From keeping the Shabbat, from doing Yahweh's laws, statutes, and commandments,
Right.
from assembling on the seventh day instead of the first day, because they hadn't quite brought it to the point where they were going to kill people
Right.
for observing on the seventh day. That's why you have so many people now that observe on the first day.
Tell like it is,
They just,
Rod.
hey, gave it up at the threat of being killed and finally got to that point.
Right.
So Antiochus' Hellenizing policies brought him into conflict with the temple organizations and particularly with the real Jews.
Right.
See, Antiochus' reign, the Jews had enjoyed autonomy under their. When Antiochus returned from Egypt in 167, he took Jerusalem by storm and enforced people to convert to Greek ways. Now I was thinking the other day about how you can go to these black colleges here in the United States, and then they call themselves, becoming Greek.
Right.
Men and women, they do.
Them fraternities.
And when I went away to college, it was really kind of like a shock. I didn't know Yahweh then, but they had all kind of dances, where they would, and then, you see stuff on TV where they, and they just think, but it's a really big thing in Shemite colleges.
Yeah.
To pledge fraternities and sororities. That's part of that Hellenization. See, that's the fancy word for Greek.
Right.
And it's still going on.
Yes, it
and
is.
They used to think that I did not pledge. Matter of fact, we formed another organization that was against pledging.
Okay. Praise
I don't
the
know
Lord.
why we did it, but we
Hey.
just thought, this is not right. That you have to pledge and you have to go through all these different things. So we formed another organization that was against pledging. I guess that was Yahweh.
Yes,
Me
it
to the
was
future.
moving.
Praise Him. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The revolt of the Maccabees. The revolt of Judas Maccabee. Remember, they're coming against this Antiochus, and we're talking about when people named our forefathers Christians.
Right, right.
It says the Greeks and those friendly toward them were united in the community of the Antiochians. We're still talking about this place Antioch,
Right.
so we can understand why that slur, that slander came on our people to call them Christians. He said the worship of Yahweh and of all the, here we go again, Jewish rites were forbidden on pain of death. Well, we weren't Jewish. See,
No, we
this is talking
weren't.
about us now. This is talking about our people.
Right,
This is
right.
talking about reality. So we were never called Jewish.
Never.
Right. We were never called Israeli. We never practiced Judaism.
Never.
See, you're dealing with another set of people.
Right, right.
But because we're coming up out of darkness, Yahweh now is helping us to separate who we were and what
Hallelujah.
our habit was. All right?
Praise God.
So he said, all right, the worship of Yahweh and all the Jews' rites were forbidden on pain of death. In the temple, an altar to Zeus, Olympius, was erected. Remember, the city's named after this guy, Antiochus Epiphanes, right? So he put a symbol of juice at the altar. Says sacrifices were to be made at the feet of an idol in the image of the king. So he had himself up there. Because remember, his name meant what? God Epiphanes or God manifest.
Right, right.
Against that desecration, Judas Maccabeus, talk about us now, leader of the anti-Greek Jews, led the aroused in a guerrilla warfare and several times defeated the generals Antiochus had commissioned to deal with the uprising. So then they just go on and let you know about that rebellion. All right, we're in Acts 26. Let's go to verse 28. So the city Antioch, where Hebrew Israelites were called Christians first, was an insult.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was one of the strongholds of the Roman faith. And it was under Roman rule.
Right.
All right, we see the second mention, Acts, the 26th chapter. And now we have Shaul, the black Hebrew, now in front of another Edomite. Another one is Esau's people.
Yeah.
Acts 26, let's read verse 28.
Hallelujah.
Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a follower of Messiah.
Okay, and so you see how, if you got King James, it says Christian, right? So here's the twist again, where they're saying, oh, you know, Shaul said he was, no, he didn't.
Right.
This is what this Edomite said.
Right.
And Shaul was talking to him, he's telling him what Yahweh said. And he said, you know, you almost got me,
I know, right?
almost persuaded me to follow Yahweh, to be a Christian. But we were never called Christians. So when you're reading the scripture, then Yahweh has to show you what's said and what's not said. Because you'll be thinking, oh, it's in the Bible, so that's
Right,
100%
right.
truth. But you got to see who's talking.
Okay.
Yahweh had them record people's different dialogues. And this man was Esau. And Shaul wasn't trying to persuade him to be a Christian. Because he wasn't one, right? We're not Christians. Verse 29.
And Paul said, I would to Elohim that not only thou, but also all that hear thee this day were both almost and altogether such as I am, except these bonds.
So he separated. He said, hey, I wish to Elohim, I wish to Yahweh.
Right.
Mighty one, that everybody was like I am,
Yes.
except in those bonds. In other words, He's not saying I'm a Christian.
I know, right?
He's saying I wish everybody was following Yahweh like me.
Right.
You see the difference? He's letting you know there's a difference.
Yes.
He didn't agree and say, yeah, I wish everybody was a Christian too. No. That's Roman Christianity. Let's go to 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. So now here's the final insult where they try to make you think that we were called Christians. 1 Peter 4. And this reference in 1 Peter was added by the translators to support the Roman Catholics' lie that Peter was the first pope.
Right.
And again, it's a lie.
Definitely.
Peter was not Catholic.
No,
Peter
he
was
was
not
not.
a Roman Christian. Peter was not a pope. 1 Peter 4.
He was a Hebrew Israelite.
This was added by the Bible translators because the
That's it.
Romans got control of translation and everything. And remember, they're working with Esau.
Yeah.
So now they figure if we twist the scripture enough, or if we add, really it's the devil behind it.
That's it.
That's
If we just add enough of this and enough of that, they'll never be able to get out of this box. But guess what?
So they
Yahweh
thought-
said, not so.
Right. Praise the mighty Yah.
Hallelujah. 1 Peter 4, verse 16.
Praise Yahweh.
Yes, 1 Peter 4, verse
Yet
16.
if
Yes.
my man suffer as a follower of Messiah, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Elohim on
Hallelujah.
this behalf.
All right, so now let's read in King James. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, and Kiefer didn't say that. That's a lie.
Right.
The Bible translator added that. Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Elohim, Almighty One, on this behalf. But they want to tell you that lie about how he was the first pope. No, he wasn't. We read in one of the shows where they killed Kiefer.
Right.
How you going to be the head of something and they kill you because
Right.
your beliefs are different than what they're teaching?
Right.
And that's why Yahweh, he doesn't have dumb people following him.
No, he does not.
And it has been said about our people to where we didn't used to like to read. We're better now.
Yes, we are.
And they taught us in school that if you were too smart or if you got too good at grades or if you were reading or what are you doing reading? Oh, you think you know everything. Oh, and we were so backwards that we made people think that it was smart to be dumb.
I know, right?
And it was smart not to get the right answer. And it was smart for the girls to switch around and try to be cute, and for the boys to walk around and try to act macho and act like they were stupid.
Right.
We bought that lie.
Yes, we
And
did.
guess what? We gave it back.
Yes, hallelujah.
We understand now it's stupid to be stupid.
Yeah.
And Yahweh doesn't want us to be stupid.
Right.
That's why we're here and that's why we're studying the word now.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. I'm waking up out of nightmares, gas for breath. Living in these last days, enemies after my death.